So let's hit another one now.
So the description, I don't even know. I mean, what the hell? So anyway, the reason why I picked this one, I admit it, but I picked it mainly because of Alexander Skarsgård, because I haven't really seen a lot of his movies. And I like the Skarsgård clan. There's a lot of them. There's 100 of them. And I really like Bill Skarsgård, which I think he took all the charisma from all the other brothers and sisters.
How did that work out for you?
But no, that's kind of what drew me to this. And then when I was watching this, I realized I didn't like any of the characters. I hated everybody.
Absolutely.
That couple, I absolutely hated that couple.
Absolutely had the same problem. There is no and literally the thing is there's a certain hook to it. And by the time you get through the first,
there's only one hook.
Yeah, really. There's only one hook, but they use it. They use it a couple of times. Yeah. But I have to tell you, once they use that hook, you go, well, I don't like any of these.
Especially the blonde girl and her boyfriend. I was like, she's so irritating.
Don't you on a film like this? I mean, because this is kind of the desert island film in a way, you know. And the thing is you want at least somebody. You have to hope you would want somebody to get off the island. In this case, I absolutely did not want anybody off that island.
Well, actually, the only one that was somewhat likable left. I don't want to ruin it, but no. So one thing that bothered me about this too, not only that I didn't connect with anybody, but the fact that it's so predictable that I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I almost said it out loud before it happened. I was like,
and the thing is this is,
and that's okay if it's predictable, but it was just so predictable.
It wasn't. It was based on science in the closest possible way, because you're like, okay. So that particular, so you think that this particular technology, because it centers around a particular technology,
right?
That not only is it paid for by traffic fines.
That was the best part. Yeah, actually,
it is the worst possible permutation of this technology that you can get anywhere, right?
Well, this is a lot like Soylent Green. It had that kind of vibe to it, Soylent Green, except for it was red Jello that they were swimming in.
Yeah. If Soylent Green were run by a banana leaf police force,
the Banana Republic, yeah.
Banana Republic.
Get in that green. Force. Get in that red Jello. Hold your hands up.
I'm
and the psychedelic, they didn't know what was gonna. What should we do in this scene to make it more dramatic? Oh, let's just make it psychedelic.
It's sort of like you were walking into the 23rd century, but you tripped. You fell flat on your face, and this is what happened.
Actually, this reminds me a little bit of Time Crimes. Remember that one?
Oh yeah. It
kind of had that like quality to it, but
yeah.
And Alexander Skarsgård, he actually has some talent, but he's just in the wrong movie here.
Oh man, anybody that's in this film that has talent, just the whole sense of the whole film will certainly take care of that.
Yeah, and if you like nipples, you won't like nipples after this movie. I won't go into detail, but I was very disturbed by a couple things. And when the screen spins, do you think this is overdone now? When the screen spins, something is wrong. They got to that really early on, but it only took 30 minutes for them to get really into anything, and then suddenly it's a sci-fi movie. It started off as a drama, I guess.
Very bad vacation.
Yes.
Horror drama. And here's the weird thing is that as unbelievable as those early moments were, I was like, okay, I'm going to go with this because it's probably got something to do with the haunted house.
Right. Yes, I thought so too. Yeah.
It had don't go on the other side of the fence because ooga booga, right?
Right.
it kind of reminded me, and tell me that there was something about it that kind of reminded me of a bad version of White Zombies.
Yes.
Right? Right? I mean, there was something about it that was like, the science was pretty close to the same. Oh, it was just terrible.
It was an art, though, because one of the guys explained it. He's like, well, this is really an art form. I mean, I think we take this too seriously when we try to make this happen. What was he doing?
Yeah, and anyway. He was talking about the script.
He might have been. Oh, by the way, this was written and directed by the same guy, which you've told me multiple times. That can lead to problems. Which is why generally you have an assistant director that will help support you and say, wait a minute, dude, you're full of shit. Or maybe have a co-director.
Yeah, there was nobody there to tell him to.
So if I write a script, I'm not going to direct it myself. I think I've learned my lesson here.
I'm telling you, there aren't. This is why you don't see an awful lot of people be a triple threat,
right?
Because triple threat is what they wind up being to themselves. Going, how did he die? Triple threat.
Well, some people are triple threats. They're good actors, singers, and criminals. It's like, doesn't have to be directing.
Absolutely,
Or just really good at eating a lot of I mean,
Right. Well, you know what? You are what you eat.
There are a couple things I liked about this. I thought the music was interesting. Well, except for the violins when the thing was spinning. Is violins always go with the screen spinning. They always have violins in the background.
It's a natural.
And then I like the masks. The masks they were wearing were pretty... It looked like a lot of work went into those, and I think those were pretty impressive, actually. I thought so.
And didn't it make you wonder... you wanted to go, hey, these masks are pretty good. Then you went, who would be able to make these masks here? And I didn't come up with an answer for that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, they must have been dropped off. And that's a more interesting story than this one, I'll tell you that.
No, I would have had some guy in a basement somewhere peeling faces off people and turning them into masks,
See, that's a little backstory that I would have found a lot more interesting than.
And then you could have a spin-off.
No, that was the camera shot. That was the spin-off.
Oh,
they did have a spin-off. They just didn't understand what it meant.
Oh, and this spin went clockwise, I think. And I think it's always better to go counterclockwise if you want to make people feel uncomfortable. Because if you go the same way the clock is going,
yeah, that puts me to sleep, Frank.
So I was thinking about stuff like that. That's how deep this movie was. I was thinking about
and that's because the movie was not interesting at all.
Well, I have a policy. If you think something is wasting your time, it probably is. It's probably not very good. So yeah, I felt like I was wasting my time.
Yeah, when you look at your phone and you don't feel guilty at all.
So if you were sitting next to the director of this, watching it with him, would you be looking at your phone?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let me tell you something. I have been before in a couple of really bad comedy in rooms where there was no music and the comedy was just cut together.
Yeah.
And man, that is some of the toughest viewing you can do. Because then you know that when the lights come back on, the director's going to be there going, so what did you think?
Oh, so you're saying I need to practice my response when I go see your movie? I'm going to be
absolutely.
That was fantastic.
The lights are going to come on. The lights are going to come on Friday, and you're going to go, so hey.
I like the mask you made.
You have to say something like, man, those trees were green.
Yes. I like how you did that with the thing.
Yeah. The title's probably the best you've ever done.
It's kind of like it's when you're talking to your kid and looking at their art project, and you're like, oh, I like what you did with the purple.
Yeah. You haven't seen my kids' art projects.
No, they have talent.
Yeah, they really do.
Well, I'm just talking in general. Like if you're looking at somebody's art,
yeah.
You're like, oh, I like the purple you used there.
Yeah, what is the cat? What is the cow doing? to the dog?
What is the meaning of the cat humping the dog?
Sorry.
No, your whole family has talent, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen your son's work, and I've seen your work, and your wife is amazing too.
She's
and
amazing.
Your grandchildren.
Like, grandchildren are good at what they do. It's really freaking weird. No, but you know what? We have always had this kind of thing in our house. Some people like they get in the house and they discuss politics, or they discuss sports, or they discuss socioeconomic things and stuff. But in our house, it can be a football score. I don't care, or anything like that. But boy, if you come into the house and say that
Kandinsky was derivative of early Picasso,
you better be ready to fight.
Oh, wow.
It's like, come on, let's go.
Wow.
Look out for that right.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna come into your house and say that.
Say that.
But I'm gonna say, Mick told me once that.
Yeah, Mick told me once.
Oh, by the way, I was thinking about Skarsgard's, and I was thinking about like Alec Baldwin and all these other people, and like there's always bad clones. You ever notice that? Like there's always one brother who seemed to take all the good stuff, right?
Exactly. And then there's always the Steven.
Right, yeah, I was looking at Alec Baldwin and his brothers. I'm like, wow, he took all the charisma Alec did.
That's right.
And in my family, it's the opposite. The youngest got all the charisma.
See how that worked for you? I like that.
But then I was like, thinking about the Skarsgard. I actually looked up the Skarsgard. I didn't know there were so many. I didn't know there were two or three sisters, actually. So
really, I've never
like
seen the sisters.
5 or 6 of them, and there's like 2 or 3 girls.
Are they any of them in business?
Pretty much all of them are in the business, except for one guy was like, I want to be a doctor like Mom. And he didn't have quite the qualities that the other brothers had, if you get my drift.
I want to work at 7-Eleven.
I don't want to be mean, but he probably looked in the mirror and said, you know what? I don't have the same thing that my brothers have.
Yeah, think of what Stephen Baldwin was thinking.
Well, he's managed to do some stuff on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's,
producing stuff.
Go ahead.
Commercials, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, commercials.
I haven't really kept track of Stephen Baldwin.
There you go. Yeah, not your favorite, huh?
Not one of my favorites. Yeah, I can't really say Alec is either, but Alec is a brilliant actor, though. I give him that.
He really is. I mean, Stephen Baldwin on 30 Rock was just one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He was amazing. Okay, I think that we're done with this thing.
I think we're more than done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hello.
You brought up Kandinsky?
Well, that kills me. Hey, listen. Usually that just absolutely slays.
Well,
by slays, I mean just kills everybody that's around me.
Well, I think Kandinsky actually directed a couple of those scenes that we saw.
From the grave, buddy. Okay, that's
right.
enough. It's enough of you. It's enough of me.